we can start the next page. Here in this shape, the first letter has one dot at the bottom. Obviously, that is letter Ba. The next one has one dot on the top, and that's letter Noon. And also here we have full shape of letter Noon. So in this box, we have letter Ba, Noon, and Noon. The next one, two dots on the top, that's letter Taa. And the next one, here we have two dots at the bottom, that's letter Ya. And after that, letter Noon. Taa, Ya, and Noon. So these shapes are very easy. The next one here you can see again, we have letter Ya because it has two dots at the bottom, and then letter Taa, two dots on the top. So this thing, you have to remember that when a letter has two dots at the bottom, that's letter Ya, and when a letter has two dots on the top, that's letter Taa. So in this example, we have Ya, Taa, and Noon. The next one, three dots on the top, obviously that is letter Tha. Again we have letter Tha, and then we have letter Noon. Now they are giving us some more individual letters. The first one is letter Jeem, as you already know. The next one is Haa, and here that's letter Khaa. It has one dot on the top. Now we are going to learn how to make the small shapes of these three letters. So here we have letter Jeem. We are going to learn how we can make the small shape of Jeem. Simply, we are going to remove the ending part of letter Jeem till here, and then increase this line little bit. That's the small shape of letter Jeem. Now the dot becomes at the bottom. Like that, the same thing we are going to do with letter Ha. Till here we are going to remove and then just increase this line little bit. So that's the small shape of letter Ha. And the same thing we are going to do with letter Khaa. So here the small shape of letter Khaa. As you can see, they are using the small shape of letter Jeem here, and the small shape of letter Ha we have here, and also here in the middle, the green one, that's letter Ha, and the small shape of letter Khaa you can see here. I hope you got it, the small shape of letter Jeem, Ha, and Khaa. Now we can move to the next example. The first one is the small shape of letter Ha, and the next one is letter Tha. Ha and Tha. The next one is Khaa and Ba. Here we have the small shape of letter Jeem. So you have to remember this shape when it has one dot at the bottom, so that's letter Jeem. When this shape has one dot on the top, that's letter Khaa. And when this shape has no dot, that's letter Ha. So this one is Jeem, and after that we have letter Tha. In the next shape, the first one is letter Tha because it has two dots on the top. Next one is letter Ha, and the third one is letter Tha. Three letters we have here, Ta, Ha, and Tha. Next one, two dots at the bottom, and that's letter Ya. Here we have letter Jeem, small shape of letter Jeem, and the next one is letter Ba because it has one dot at the bottom. We have Ya, Jeem, and Ba. Let's move to the next line. Here the first one is letter Ba, and this one is letter Khaa, and here letter Tha. Now I think you can easily recognize such type of letters because so many times we have discussed such type of shapes in the previous lines. Now let's discuss about this letter. As you already know, when a letter has two dots on the top, that's letter Tha. Now here, this one, that's also letter Tha because it has two dots on the top. From here we got it that letter Tha has two shapes. One is the flat one, and here we have the circle shape of Tha. So we got it that letter Ta has two individual shapes. One is the flat one, as we already discussed in the previous examples. And now here, this one, that's the circle Ta. And easily we can recognize whenever you see we have a circle and two dots on the top, which means that's a circle Ta. And in Arabic we say Taa Marbuta. So I hope you got it. That is letter Ta in circle shape. The next one here, that's letter Ha. Letter Ha, which is coming at the end of the throat. So just like a circle, that's letter Ha. Now these are the individual shapes. Now here you can see when circle Ta comes at the end, it looks like that. And another shape of circle Ta is here. Sometime circle Ta is written in this way. And circle Ta is always comes at the end of the word. So we have two shapes of circle Ta here when it comes at the end, and sometimes circle Ta is written like that when it comes at the end. Like that we have letter Ha. Here we have another shape of letter Ha when it comes at the end, and sometimes letter Ha is written like that when it comes at the end. I hope you got it, the small shape of circle Ta and Ha. Now we can move to the next example. Here we have letter Ba, and this one is letter Ta. The next one, this letter has two dots at the bottom, that's letter Ya. And the next one is the red one, this shape, that's the small shape of letter Ha when it comes at the end. And the next one here, that's letter Ta, two dots on the top. And this shape, that's the tricky one, that's also letter Ha. So we have here Ta and Ha. In the next line, the first one has one dot on the top, that's letter Noon. And the next one here, this letter has two dots on the top. So obviously we can recognize that's letter Ta, and that's the shape of circle Ta. Sometimes circle Ta is written like that. So here we have Noon and Ta. The next letter, what you can see here, it has two eyes. That's again we have letter Ha, which means that letter Ha has two individual shapes. One we already discussed in the previous line, and here we have another shape of letter Ha, and this type of Ha comes in the middle. As you can see here, the Ha is coming in the middle. It has two eyes, so you can easily recognize that. Now again we have letter Ha here in the middle in red color, and also we have letter Ha here. So just try to remember the shape. Easily you can recognize that. So that's letter Ha. Now we can recognize these letters. The first one is letter Ya, and the middle one is letter Ha, and then we have letter Ba. The next example, the first one is Ba, then we have letter Ha, and this vertical line, that's very easy, that's letter Alif. So we have Ba, Ha, and Alif. In the next one, the first one is letter Ba because it has one dot at the bottom. Next one is letter Ha, so this shape you have to remember. Letter Ha, and here that's letter Mim. The red one is letter Mim. We have three letters in this box. The first one is Ba, Ha, and we have letter Mim. After that, we have the individual shape of letter Daal, and the same shape with one dot on the top, that's letter Zaal. So we have letter Daal and Zaal here. Now we are going to learn the small shape of Daal and Zaal. When letter Daal comes at the end, it looks like that. This shape, the green letter what you can see, that's letter Daal we have here. And like that, here at the end, this shape what you can see, that's letter Zaal. Daal and Zaal. I hope you got it. When letter Daal and Zaal, they comes at the end, the style becomes a little bit change. So just try to remember that. Again, we can start from here. This one is Daal, and here we have letter Zaal. The next shape, the first one, this shape, that's the small shape of letter Jeem, because it has one dot at the bottom. And the next one is letter Daal. Here we have the individual shape of letter Daal, and here when letter Daal comes at the end. The next one is letter Khaa, because it has one dot on the top. And the next one here, that's letter Zaal. We have two letters here, Haa and Zaal. Next one is again very simple, that's letter Raa. And here we have letter Zaa, or also we can say Zain. So Raa and Zaa. Now when letter Raa comes with other letter, it looks like that. Here the green one, what you can see, that's letter Raa. And like that, when letter Zaa comes with other letters, here we have the shape of letter Zaa. I hope that's clear. Now we can recognize these two letters. The first one is very simple, that's Jeem. And here we have letter Raa. This one, that's letter Khaa. And the next one is letter Zaa. Raa and Zaa, they have almost the same shape. Raa has no dot and Zaa has one dot on the top. Now this shape, what you can see here, that's again we have letter Raa. Means that we have two individual shapes of letter Raa. One is we have discussed here, that's the regular one, and sometime letter Raa is written like that. Now this shape, what you can see here, that's again we have letter Raa. Means that letter Raa has two individual shapes. One is this one that we already discussed, and here we have another shape of Raa. And like that, the next one what you can see here, that's letter Zaa. Another shape for letter Zaa. One is here and second is here. So I hope you got it that we have two shapes of letter Raa, and like that, two shapes of letter Zaa. Now this shape of Raa, they are using here in blue color, and that is letter Zaa, they are using here with another letter. So try to remember this shape starting from here to there. If it has one dot on the top, that's letter Zaa, and if this shape has no dot on the top, that's letter Raa. Now one more time we can do from here, that's letter Raa, the second shape of Raa, and here we have letter Zaa. The first one, the black one, what you can see here, it has two dots at the bottom, that's letter Ya. And the next one is letter Raa. The next shape, this black one has two dots on the top, that's letter Taa. And the next one, starting from here to there, and one dot on the top, that's letter Zaa. So two letters we have here, Taa and Zaa. The next one is letter Sheen, the full shape of letter Sheen we have here. And after that we have here the full shape of letter Sheen. Now the small shape of letter Sheen and Sheen are very easy. This one is the full shape of Sheen. And here we have the small shape of letter Sheen. Just three curves. And like that, here we have the full shape of letter Sheen, and the small shape of letter Sheen is here. Three curves and three dots. As you know that in Arabic we have one more letter which has three dots on the top, and that is letter Tha. So how we can differentiate between letter Tha and Sheen? When letter Tha is written in small shape, letter Tha has only one curve and three dots on the top. But when letter Sheen is written in small shape, so letter Sheen has three curves and three dots. So you can easily differentiate between them by checking the curves. If a letter has one curve and three dots on the top, means that's letter Tha. And if a letter has three curves and three dots on the top, means that's letter Sheen. Now we can do from here. The first one is letter Sheen, and here we have letter Laam, the full shape of Lamb. The next one we have letter Sheen, the small shape of Sheen, and then here we have letter Lam, Sheen and Lam. After that again we have some individual shapes of Arabic letters. 4 letters we have here. The first one is Sad. Here we have Dad, and this one is Taa, and that is letter Zaa. One more time we can say Sad. This one is Dad, and here we have letter Ta, and here we have letter Zaa. All of these 4 letters, they are heavy letters. Now we can learn the small shape of these 4 letters. The first one is Sad, and in small shape only we are going to use the face of letter Sad. As you can see here, that's letter Sad we have. Now the small shape of letter Dad, same thing, we are going to use the face of letter Dad. As you can see here, the small shape of letter Dad is written with letter Alif. Letter Ta and letter Zaa, they have only one shape. They are not going to change their shape. Even when they are written with other letters, we are going to use the same shape. As you can see here, the individual shape of letter Ta, when it comes with other letters, also it's written like that. So this one is letter Ta, in the small vertical line on the top. And like that, here we have letter Zaa, the full shape of letter Zaa. When it comes with other letters, also we are going to use the same shape. There will be no change in the shape. All the time we are going to use the full shape of letter Ta and Zaa. I hope you got it. Now we can start from here. The first one is letter Sad, and here we have letter Ba. The next one, the blue one, this one you can see here, that's the full shape of letter Ta. As you can see here, means that's letter Ta we have, and this one is letter Ba. 2 letters, Ta and Ba. The next one is letter Dad, that's the face of letter Dad, and we have letter Alif, Dad and Alif. This shape what you can see here, that's letter Zaa, Zaa, and after that we have letter Alif. One more time we can say Zaa, tip of tongue is touching with the edges of frontal teeth, Zaa and Alif. After that we have letter Ain written in red color, that's the individual shape of letter Ain. Letter Ain comes from the middle of the throat. Now we can learn the small shape of letter Ain. Here we got it, that's the individual shape of letter Ain. Now when letter Ain comes in the beginning, it looks like that. Just we are using the face of letter Ain when it comes in the beginning. And when letter Ain comes at the end, it looks like that. The face of letter Ain becomes changed, and the ending part of letter Ain remains same, as you can see here. So try to remember the shape. When letter Ain comes at the end, it looks like that, the red one what you can see here. And when letter Ain comes in the middle, it looks like that here. The red one what you can see here, that's again letter Ain. That's the tricky one. So here you can see the face of letter Ain what we have here in the middle shape, the same face we have here when letter Ain comes at the end. So this face you have to remember. One more time we can revise that. Here we have the individual shape of letter Ain, and when letter Ain comes in the beginning, it looks like that, this shape. And when letter Ain comes at the end, it looks like that. The face of letter Ain becomes a little change. And when letter Ain comes in the middle, it looks like that. So 3 different shapes of letter Ain we have. I hope you got it. Like that, the next letter here, that's letter Ghayn, which comes from the beginning of the throat, Ghayn. The same shapes for letter Ghayn we have as we discussed for letter Ain. Here we have the individual shape of letter Ghayn, and when it comes in the beginning, it looks like that, one dot on the top, and when letter Ghayn comes at the end, it looks like that, also one dot on the top, and when letter Ghayn comes in the middle, it looks like that, the black letter what you can see. So try to remember the different shapes of letter Ain and Ghayn. I hope you got it. Now we can do again from here. We have letter Ain here, and the next one is letter Ghayn, and here we have letter Hamza. Hamza has only one shape, and it always written separately. The next shape what you can see here, that's the small shape of letter Ain when letter Ain comes in the beginning. But one thing, that the small shape of letter Ain, it's similar to letter Hamza. So how we can differentiate between letter Hamza and the small shape of letter Ain? It's very simple. As we got it, that letter Hamza is always written separately. It does not connect with any other letter. So whenever you see a line is connecting with the next letter, that there is no gap, means that's the small shape of letter Ain, because letter Hamza does not connect with any other letter. So in this way we can differentiate. When you see this shape is written separately, means that's letter Hamza. When you say this shape is written with another letter, the line is connecting with the next one, which means that's the small shape of letter Ain. Here we have the small shape of letter Ain, and the next shape what you can see here, starting from here to there and one dot on the top, that's letter Zaa, another shape of letter Zaa. Now we can start from here again. The first one is letter Ain when letter Ain comes in the beginning, and the next letter what you can see in green color, starting from here to there, that's the shape of letter Zaa. We have two letters here, Ain and Zaa. The next one, this shape has one dot on the top, so that's letter Ghayn, and after that, starting from here to there, this shape, that's letter Ra. We have two letters here, Ghayn and Ra. After that, here you can see we have letter Saad. This one is letter Saad, and the red one what you can see here, that's letter Ain. When letter Ain comes at the end, it looks like that. So just try to remember the face. That's letter Ain. We have two letters here. Number one is Saad, and here we have letter Ain. The next one here, this letter, one dot on the top, that's letter Dad. And after that, this one is letter Ghayn. We have two letters here, Dad and Ghayn. In the last line, the first letter has one dot at the bottom, that's letter Ba. And here, this letter, what you can see appearing in red color, that's letter Ain. Try to remember this shape. When letter Ain comes in the middle, it looks like that. So we have Ba, and then we have letter Ain. And the green one, what you can see, that's letter Daal. When letter Daal comes at the end, it looks like that. Again, we can do the first one is Ba, Ain, and Daal. The next one is letter Ta, the black one. Try to remember this face. That's letter Ghayn because it has one dot on the top. Ta, Ghayn. And the third letter, that's letter Zaal. This shape has one dot on the top. Before that, here in the previous shape, this one is letter Daal, and here that's letter Zaal. After that, in this box, you can see we have letter Alif, and top of that letter Hamza is written. Like that, in the next one, you can see here we have letter Waw, and top of that is letter Hamza. And here we have letter Ya, and top of that letter Hamza is written. Now one thing we have to understand here, whenever you see letter Hamza is written top of any letter, that letter becomes silent, which means that's Alif, Waw and Ya, they are silent. We are not going to pronounce that. Only we are going to pronounce letter Hamza. Basically, these are the different shapes of letter Hamza. Sometime letter Hamza is written top of Alif, sometime top of Waw, and sometime top of Ya. So only we are going to pronounce letter Hamza. That is Hamza. Here also we have Hamza, and here again we have Hamza. So this thing you have to remember whenever you see letter Hamza is written top of any letter, or sometime letter Hamza is written at the bottom of letter Alif, that time also letter Alif becomes silent. Only we are going to pronounce letter Hamza. So this thing you have to remember, whenever letter Hamza is written top of a letter or below a letter, that letter becomes silent. Only we are going to pronounce letter Hamza. And this thing inshallah we'll learn in more detail in coming lessons. After that, here the last letter in this page, that's letter Fa.